The Warlock, I have been hearing ramblings about this being a pretty strong support now, right? With the shard changes giving you the AoE Shadow Word. It does seem kind of nice. I believe some of the item build-ups that I've been seeing is Holy Locket Warlock, which obviously amps your Shadow Word, but obviously gives you another way of healing somebody up instantly. We'll see what they do though. Hustlers, they go back into the Invoker. Felt, not to be outdone, go for the Morphling pickup. Which I've got to say, every time we've seen Morphling recently, it hasn't really worked out whatsoever. I feel like we haven't seen it win yet in the current meta, at least when we've been casting.
Yeah, and I think on our cast it's been 0%. On other places we've seen it's actually won a couple of times. It's won against an OD, somehow a matchup that's not necessarily the best for Morphling, but it does happen. As long as you get a BKB, you're fine. Its spikes feel a bit different, but overall it's not too bad. I just worry about it into Invoker. You've got a natural way of burning through Morphling's mana, a natural Spirit Vessel carrier as well. So if the Morphling wants to man up early on, you're not going to be able to attribute shift well, because again, that has mana cost, and EMP just ruins your mana for the Morphling. So you have to be careful about committing too hard. D2 Hustlers do flux the DK, so it is looking like our DK is off lane, Invoker mid for Papatuti, locking that in once more. He did have a fantastic time in game one. Felt have the option of maybe fluxing the Morphling down mid, getting something else, something a little bit more selfless on the safe lane if they wanted to. Not sure if you really want to run Morphling against Invoker early on. It feels like the Invoker has more utility on hand to bully out a Morph, and you have to ride through level 3 for the Morphling to have that sustain with the juggling you want to do. So kind of open for Felt, and they still have some flux. Hustlers are looking a lot nicer when they're opening, and they go into the Bloodseeker as well. So this is not a good Morphling game already, right? You've got Bloodright, EMP, Rupture up. It's not easy to just reach into the back line and make something happen here for the Morphling.
No, it certainly isn't. Even during the laning state, right? You get quite low and you try to Agimorph to be able to heal yourself up, but you're going to leave yourself exposed now to the Sunstrike of the Invoker, which we did see a lot of last game. So we could see a similar thing where you could just go for the early point and Exhort, just have that level 1 Sunstrike up, and as soon as you see the Morphling on the map with 0 HP, you just throw that Sunstrike out and hope for the best. I do really like this from D2 Hustlers. That does leave their POS 4 pick open, which is very interesting, right? Because it's like, is it going to be something weird like a DK or an Invoker POS 4 that we're seeing here? Have they really just left their POS 4 till the last pickup for 1437? I don't know. We're about to find out. But they do still have some flexibility. You can run a lot of heroes in that POS 4 role, and it can be a rather awkward scenario, kind of like this is now. A Lifestealer comes out for Felt. So you've got Morphling Lifestealer on this draft for Felt.
Yeah.
Does seem a little bit on the greedier side, if I do say so myself, John.
Yeah.
Does this look good to you?
It has some spikes. Like Lifestealer is not actually that greedy of core nowadays. I feel like you can fight a lot earlier. You just go for Maelstrom or casual SNY, and you're pretty much good to go. Maybe have an armlet beforehand, and you can make some work happen. You've got a good vehicle in the Morphling. Even Mirana could be a vehicle for you, although not ideal. I want to see something from Felt on the off lane that the Lifestealer can really synergize with. It's still a bit awkward. You're picking Lifestealer into Bloodseeker, so you still have BKB Piercing Rupture on hand. You can Rupture out the Lifestealer if you want to chase him down instead. Then he's stuck in the middle. He could get silenced up by the Bloodright. There's a lot going on here that the Hustlers can force out, and even if Lifestealer has that natural spell immunity, Rage cooldown is pretty nasty. They go with the Slaughter, so that is the natural infest vehicle now. You've got stun into arrow combos now, the crush into arrow combo, and the corrosive haze is really nice for this lineup, but they have to really play fast. You want to be fast in this Lifestealer. You don't want to be farming on both the LS and the Morphling. One of them needs to give some space, and it should be the Lifestealer in this case. Hustler, they can still punish that. They can still punish this greedier core duo and just kind of run around. I mean, DK and Bloodseeker just don't even need that much farm. They just need level 6 to be up. They can show up in the lane together, can force out fights already just with a Witch Doctor on hand. And that just makes it harder for Felt to approach this. They're tied into cooldowns with Golem. That's one thing with Warlock. Like, as the levels go on, Golem's just so long that you have to plan your engagements around that spell. And it can be difficult. We saw Felt struggling to actually find that beat in the game. So if they need to correct that issue in this game, and
Wow.
Hustlers go with a troll last
Okay.
pick as well. So what are they fluxing here?
Looks like
Are
part of
okay.
on the Invoker 1437 pos 4 DK. Been watching too much of the anime. It seems he wants to be the DK now, and I don't know. I look at Felt's draft and I said it was a little bit greedy, but when you look at it in terms of laning stage, it does look very potent. It kind of feels like they have all lanes covered apart from now the bot lane, where if it was the Bloodseeker pos one, I would have said the Slanter pick was amazing. But now you've got a Troll Warlord there, which makes it a lot less valuable, as the Troll can just kind of sit back and use those range axes instead. Overall, both drafts finished, John. Do you have one that you prefer over the other?
I'd say I like Hustler's draft a little bit more. I think they've got the answers to the Morphling. It's going to be very hard for Tay to fight without a BKB. You don't want to rush a BKB on Morphling as well, so they will have to sit back, have Tay farm up. I think Comfort needs to step up to the plate here to make this draft work. He needs to be aggressive in the Life Stealer, needs to play with the Infest Bomb and the Slaughter, and they need to time themselves around Koya and Iskatsi. They have to play with a Warlock Golem drop, play with that level spike, and just play while they're strong. For the side of D2 Hustlers, there's some awkward back and forth. Support DK is not too bad. The laning presence is certainly not amazing as a melee support, and only really having short stun at a melee stun at that until you get your 6. And Breed Fire, it's not particularly amazing. So we'll have to see how much you can get out here from 1427. I love that he starts with a boots though. Just moves ridiculously fast, and he's going to be able to at least scout out for his team with his initial smoke, which they're not smoked up this time. So they've got to be a bit cautious. It looks like D2 Hustlers will want to force that first blood out.
I mean, why the hell not, right? It does look like a very kind of strong first blooding kind of draft, and well, for now, they're going to run right into it. Looks like the Morph, 1437, already in position. He'll run out onto Tay. They got the Cold Snap. He did start strength morphing, but it's not going to be enough. The Blood Right is there. And at level 1, that attribute shift just doesn't really do too much. That's a great start. Yuma, he'll take the first blood on the Troll, and that's going to ensure a lot of gold to get him started. As they found the Warlock to boot. Bloodright, they're not going to want to dive the tier 2 tower, but they're going to get a lot of damage off. It's probably just going to force Koya and Iskatsi to go back to the fountain and maybe TP to the lane.
Yeah, it's I mean, he can kind of sustain himself with Shadow Word. He's got the Headrest as well for a little bit more regen. So you should be topped up as the horn sounds, but you're already off to a really good start here for Hustlers.
10 players compete for ultimate.
They're still going to get 2 for 2 in terms of bounty runes, so it's not really too bad in the end. Still a much better start for the D2 Hustlers, considering they got that first blood gold, but at least the bounties are traded evenly. And it does look like Koya and Iskatsi is not going to bother going back to the fountain. He'll just TP straight to the lane after one Shadow Word. And that does bring us to this bot lane where we do have 1437 on that pos 4 DK. Dove Lama there on the Bloodseeker. It shouldn't be too rough of a lane for Comfort. I don't believe anyway. They are going to apply a lot of pressure though. Comfort is going to take a hell of a lot of damage, and well, the Hustlers are not stopping with the right clicks. Comfort will eventually just back himself out. But after this initial kind of harassment's out, as the levels go up, I do feel like Comfort should have a pretty big advantage, though again, as I say that, right, I'm just going to stop saying Comfort should have the advantage, because apparently he shouldn't. 1437 and Damai Lama just way too aggressive. They make another kill happen.
The only reason this is working is because it's a melee safe laner. Comfort has to walk up for the last hits, which means 1437 can walk up to stun with the Dragon Tail, and it's really easy to follow up with the Blood Right. This is an issue with a Warlock in this lane. You don't do anything. You drop Shadow Word, you try to heal. Level 1 healing is just not fast enough.
Zor's going to drop a swamp at the top lane. Justice trying to trade by taking down Pandago, but that wasn't going to work out. And bot lane again, my goodness. Hustler at 1437. Just running down the Warlock and finding another kill. It's just the Dragon Tail and the Blood Right. It's just so much damage output.
And they just can't do anything. Like, Warlock at this point does nothing to stop that harassment. Comfort needs some levels up to really maybe trade some right-click damage. You can try to rip through the TK if he's jumped, but it's just never going to feel like enough, and you're already getting so much value here from 1437. So he's just making this DK work. Gives us a chance to look at the other lanes. Up mid, you've got Papa Tutti up against Tay on the Morphling and Invoker, respectively. Both of them not being particular, bottle carriers. So not as much contestation over the runes, although a really good pickup from 1437 to deny off at least one water rune. You're seeing Papa Tutti hold the lane quite nicely, is ahead of the Morphling just slightly, but this is still all right for Tay. He will need some relief, maybe some stacks down the line to clear out to really get that flash farm going, because Papa Tutti, once he gets a urn up, it's going to be harder to hold that lane down, and once he has the mana for Cold Snap, the combos can just fly
We
through.
go again. Blood right out. Level 2 Blood right this time, but he does have the Shadow Word. He should be alive. Koyana will be fine. He'll back off to the tier 1. 1437 looks like he gets a pretty big wave to pull away for himself, and Dave Lama will really enjoy that. It has allowed Comfort at least to catch up in the meantime, so even though that early aggression was there, Comfort somehow is still top of the CS board. And this is what I was talking about. The Lifestealer should not have too bad of a time. I was very careful in saying that, John, just in case they started getting aggressive again, as top lane Yuma is now the one in danger on the Troll. He's going to be able to back with Pantego. Ooh, they missed the stun. Zor would have loved the crush to land, but it wasn't quite there.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a struggle here for Yuma up top. They're getting more aggression out from Zor. They've got the potential for the crush arrow follow-up from Justice. So they have more ways to play. It's just that Justice, you don't want to cop too much of that Malekith as well.
Oh, he hits a Fairy Fire and might just survive through it. Crush is there from Zor. Pantego is still in danger, but Yuma is going to move his way in. Arrow to fly through does land on the Troll, and that's beautiful. They'll turn right back around on Yuma. The misses are still there from the Whirling Axes, but one more hit will do it, and they do get it. Cask is there. Pantego might just be able to get Justice, but no. He had another Fairy Fire. He will be able to survive, as now 1437 is going to try and rotate, but the neutral creeps do kill off Justice. And 1437, he'll be able to get some XP for himself, but that's about it.
Yeah, you're getting some space out for Felt. Working out this top lane to slow down Yuma's timings is big because you're securing, as mentioned, really good farm for the Lifestealer, and you're still getting good pace for Tay. Oh.
There's a cheeky little spot there for a second. Still gets a crush off. Should have the damage output and control for Zor. 1437 might have to just take the kill himself instead of giving it over to Yuma. Still better than nothing. He's actually going to stick around here, it looks like, on the DK. So just feeling the necessity to just be around with that Dragon Tail stun. I think it is fair enough, because if you do land the stun, then it should almost guarantee you a kill on anyone you get. See what he does, 1437. He's waiting his time out a bit.
And this is enabled because the opposite laner is just a Warlock, right? Like the Lifestealer might be able to farm, but you're not going to be dying on the Bloodseeker as well, because Warlock is not that threatening against a Bloodseeker here.
Here we go, top lane Zor is the target with the Mildict already out. It's going to be very hard for him to survive this one, and he won't. Pantego takes the kill, and now Justice, he did get ensnared for a second. He managed to leap away, and I'm sure the side of D2 Hustles, they won't mind too much. They got the big one. They'll walk away now.
Yeah, they're really leading in aggression here. 2-6 at the 6-minute mark. Pretty good time to maybe secure those power runes as well if you want to help out. Papa Tutti gets lucky up top. And Tay does have a bottle, so every single time he doesn't get to top up, it never feels good for the mid.
Top lane, Justice. Melody again. Breathe Fire there from 1437, and Justice does go down. And 1437, he's looked really good over this series, I've got to say, John. Just all over the map, and just very effective no matter what he's playing.
Yeah, he's just keeping that aggression up for his team. He's setting up. He knows where to be. He knows that he can leave a Bloodseeker alone against a Warlock and Lifestealer. Like, there's just no kill threat bots, so it enables him to be so active. And even if they're not completely building out Tay, Papa Tutti's still holding that lane well. We're not seeing Justice get as much impact with the arrows here in early rotations to the Invoker. So you're still at a really good stride for D2 Hustlers. It's just not much Felt can really do now.
Oh, onto the Slaughter again. They saw the Mirana mid lane, so now Zor's going to be targeted. They won't go all the ways. He did have that crush, but Yuma is going to think about chasing him down further. He did have the regen and should survive through the Maledict. They can actually still see him through the Blood Rites. They might go. He'll salve up, but Yuma wants to try and cancel this one off. But Slaughter does back off in time, and very unfortunate for D2 Hustlers that Papaturi did not have his Sunstrike off cooldown at the time.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. I think this kind of hurts Zor a bit more. He popped the salve, and he's going to be chased down again.
Yeah, Zor's getting chased down just as the mid lane's been ruptured up. He's dead on the Mirana, and there's Zor in the tree line trying to survive the best he can, but there's no way in hell he's getting out. That will be another kill out to Pandago. And I'd hate to say it again, John, but it's looking like complete domination already from D2 Hustlers.
Yeah, they've hit all their timings here. 2-9, 1k lead. Not massive by any means. You're still getting a trickle of farm here on Felt. You've got pretty much life free farm here for Comfort and Lifestealer. So he's having a really good time. The issue is you're not ahead enough to justify all these losses. Although Yuma...
Tay's going to try and run. EMP is there with the Dragon's Tail. He's going to be well and truly out of mana. He will try to run his way out. It looks like he should be fine. Oh, Agimorphing there. I'm not sure about that. Tay a little bit early. The urn comes out, but this time he does have the mana now, so he can keep attribute morphing. But he's going to be forced to run all the way back to the fountain as the Sunstrike was on target. Papaturi hoping that he was Agimorphing back to the fountain, but it looks like our Morphling's smart enough to know not to until he is at the fountain.
Yeah, it's just something you have to be always aware if you're against the Invoker here as the Morphling. You do manage to hold out. There is a bit of a clump up top now from Felt. When Niskatsi make his way forward as well, does not have Golem, and it's still going to be a long while until you hit that level 6 in the Warlock. But they can look to try and make a play. They've got level 2 Fatal Bonds. They can try to amplify the damage coming through with a Crush and try to lock some heroes down.
Maledict is there. The cast bounces from Pandago. Just continued going back to Justice. They would not bounce the other way. Very nice there from Pandago. Now, poor Mirana, she had 3 leap charges, but she couldn't use any of them. Very unfortunate stuff. Meanwhile, bot lane Dave Lama is being chased by Comfort. He should eventually die here. Comfort will continue the chase, but now the Juke's out in the tree line, and he's missed his target, Dave Lama. Very nice Jukes and Comfort. He's not going to be happy about that. As Dave Lama shows himself again in the lane as well. Just no fear from this man. Be able to slowly heal up, abusing the Blood Rite.
Yeah, it's not good news for the side of Felt. Like Comfort, he's still getting free farm, but the damage of the Lifestealer right now just tickles a Bloodseeker, so you don't even have that pressure to play with. Your only hope is really getting Tay up to a running start, and even that is just... It feels way too slow. You're going to hit some spikes here on D2 Hustlers. Level 6 is about to be up for 1437 on the DK. So he's going to have that Dragon form ready to go. He's going to have a range stun on hand. And they can start to pressure towers here on Hustler's side if they want to, once they hit that level 6 spike. Saw the book being flown out here to Koya Niskatsi. Once you have the Golem up, you could look to take some bigger fights here for Felt. But once you pop that Golem, you're going to have a lot of downtime to wait around as well.
He's almost there. Mid lane, however, it's going to be forced in, and this is one of the strengths about having the pos for DK, is you can push towers very, very easily. And for Felt, they don't really have the answers for this, it seems, as the Tornado EMP is going to fly through. Tay, stun is out. He still has mana. It should be just fine. Now the Death Ward is there, but it will be cancelled. Tay still needing to back. They are continuing to protect the siege creep here on the side of the Dire as well. Just making sure it does not go down and continues to get all the damage out. Onto that tier 1 as now finally the arrow comes in. Justice barely finding the angle to take out that siege creep. But it did get very low, and I felt they still have 3 heroes in the mid lane. Prepared here to defend against Hustlers. I don't think Hustlers going to keep going, but they do throw out a Tornado into the EMP. Tay going to lose all his mana again. Arrow did land on 1437, but they don't have the damage to take him out.
Yeah, and you're wasting a lot of time here from Felt. The supports are forced to camp mid, opens up the side lanes for D2 Hutzers to just get some free farm. Yuma makes his way down, and sure, Yuma's 2 levels behind the Lifestealer. He's lagging behind a bit in farm, but you're going for Battle Fury and Comfort.
He's got Rage Comfort. Should be okay. Tornado is going to fly out, and that's when he does pop the Rage to make sure he can just run. Doesn't mean Yuma is going to take over the spot lane now, and well, if you are Comfort, you might just want to start rotating towards the top side of the map. But now he's going to stick around at bot and see if he can help his team out in defending this bottom tier 1 tower. Mind you, you don't have 1437 around with the Dragon form anyway. He's still hanging around mid. And so it's, if you commit too much to defending the bot tier 1, they're just going to force in the mid tier 1. I believe you just kind of have to allow this bottom tier 1 tower to drop without committing too many heroes to defend.
You've got the drop here from Koyaanisqatsi, so he's got the Chaotic Offering Golem ready if they want to fight. And I think with just 3 heroes, you might be able to turn that around. Looks like the side of D2 Hustlers aren't going to force the issue for much. They just want to get some stable form on the Troll. Battle Fury is not too far off. And this is the one issue with this core matchup. Lifestealer is going to take a more active role with the Armlet, but your Troll is just going to be able to overtake the form of both the Morphling and the Lifestealer by having that Battle Fury up. It's just too much farm coming in.
I mean, I said if they defended the bot tier 1, that the mid tier 1 get pushed in, but 1437 just gets it for free anyway. Just literally pushes it in. Nobody's there to defend. That's a big problem for Feld, and I realize with their draft they don't really have much in the way of early tier 1 defense, but they literally just let him take it for free, and it doesn't feel very good because now Hustlers, they're going to start moving into the Radiant side jungle, and the triangle for that matter. And with a Morphling Lifestealer, you are going to need a lot of space to farm, and I don't think they're going to have that much space in this game.
I don't know about this build up as well in Zor. He went for Midas, trying to get some steady EXP, some steady farm, but this is greedy. He basically means Zor is not going to be able to do anything until he farms up a blink, and it's just going to be punished.
And Tave Lama gives him the tip preemptively. Zor going to try and run, but there's your Rupture out. He knows he's dead. Nothing he can do about it. Pantego will be the one to take the kill there on the Witch Doctor. Mid lane is being forced in now by Felt, but it's not going to be that much damage output. Tave Lama comes in. They will force a glyph usage from the Radiant, and the dive for that matter, as Tay now is probably going to just back off. Bit of a desperate play there from Felt. The right idea, but again, with these heroes, you don't really have the greatest push either.
I mean, they need to commit the Golem at some point. Like, they can have great team fight if they drop the Golem. They can have great push if they drop the Golem. They've been sitting on the spell on Koyaanisqatsi for a long time. You have to use it. You just don't want the spell sitting idle, waiting for an opportunity. You need to be the aggressors with a Warlock here. And, you know, they were saving it for the defense, never came out. They were saving it for the mid-defense, never came out. They're saving it for a fight that's just not happening from Hustler's end because they're happy to play this farm game. So Felt need to be the aggressors. They've got Moonlight Shadow as well. I'd say a smoke up is due, but Hustlers are the ones to be aggressive. Hustlers are the ones smoked up right now and looking for angles.
Top lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They found, they jumped right in onto that Mirana. 1437, that is a very quick Blink Dagger on the DK. Now Zor is going to move in onto Pantego, but does not get the stun off. Tornado was there, Papatuli does not get stunned either. They get the Rupture onto the Slaughter as Koyaanisqatsi has already tied on the Warlock, and now Zor's gone. Comfort finally going to show himself on the Lifestealer as he rage TPs away. Tay also going to have to try and run, but the Dragon Tail stun again from 1437 into the Sunstrike. Tay is desperately trying to get himself out. Melodic is there. Death Ward a bit late to the party, and Tay is going to be able to TP. There's still no Golem drop, John.
Nope. It's rough, right? Like, Felt were the ones surrounded. It wasn't their fight they were forcing out, even if they had the Infest Bomb ready to go. Not all their heroes were lined up for that big fight. And Hustlers are always on the aggressive. Like, it's the same issue from game one where it feels like the lines of communication aren't as opened up as Hustlers are. So they're working a lot better as a team. They're playing around their spells a lot better. Felt need to play with their own spells. They need to get the Golem drop. There's so much pressure on the Warlock. I'm sure Koyaanisqatsi is just thinking, I need to use my Golem, but I just can't.
It's 2-14 now. 4K net worth lead. Very one-sided here. Yuma's just been able to freely farm up the troll this whole time with that Battle Fury. Is now Justice. Well, they have the Rupture. He can try to lead the way, but the Sunstrike's going to be there, and they just take him down. Papatuti able to take that one on the Invoker. It's kind of like, what do you do here now? Your map's shrinking very quickly for Felt. You can see Comfort trying to go for a Desolator pick up on the Life Stealer. And try to push in that bottom, or rather mid-tier 1 tower. Yuma is going to have some friends coming in with the TPs, and Comfort, he's going to back off at the right time. While they're doing that, the bottom tier 1 now is going to drop to 1437. Again, on this pos 4, DK can just abuse the Dragon Form.
Yeah, and Felt, I mean, they're still farming, but it's just not amazing. And Comfort is, you know, every time he pops Rage, he's going to be vulnerable for 20 seconds. They TP in down mid, but it's just not the proper fight once more. They're already split up on Hostler's end. You're not going to have a good opportunity to drop the rock at all.
Tave Lama in trouble mid lane. They finally got something for themselves, and they'll get a kill. Tay able to take it as the Bloodseeker stuck around just a bit too long. Now Zora on the chase for Papatuti as he was under vision. Papatuti going to try and run, and looks like he is going to be fine. So they get a Bloodseeker. Definitely good news there for Feld, and the mid-tier 1 tower is also going to be taken out from Comfort.
Yeah, some map space opening up for Felt. Finally finding that pickoff is nice. I think they still want the bigger team fight, right? Like, they still hold on to Golem. They still need to use that spell to maybe force an issue out. And the side of D2 Hustlers, losing the Bloodseeker is not too big of a deal. You save out your Invoker, who's still lagging behind. Papatuti's just been so active that he hasn't been able to play that farm game, so he can sit back, get some catch-up gold now, work towards the Ags. You do have the Desolator up and running here for Comfort. So we go into the Roche. This is a really good fight to take. They've got a good ward watching that ramp as well, and it's not going to be easy to approach it for D2 Hustlers.
Nice easy Roshan. Felt this might be the turning point for them now as they do smoke up again in the Moonlight Shadow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Things are flying out from D2 Hustlers. They might be aware that something is awry.
The dire scan on the hunt for radiant force.
Scan going to be off the mark here. Stun out. Looks like they did find Pandago. He's going to run though. Nobody's really killed him off yet. Running towards his team, Pandago. Looks like he is just going to die as the rest of Hustlers are just going to TP away. Fair enough, they get the Witch Doctor, but that took a little bit too long for Comfort. It's Koyaanisqatsi is going to try and find a bit more, but nobody's around.
Yeah, it's a good retreat from D2 Hustlers. They don't want to fight into the Aegis. They can just sit back, keep trying to build some farm up, wait for the Ags on Papatuti. You only lost your support Witch Doctor, so it's not the biggest loss in the world. They will melt towers quite quickly on Felt's end, though. Like, with the Desolator up, Comfort can actually sit in and rip through, and Zor with the Blink can actually set up for his team. So there's less pressure now on Koyaanisqatsi to keep trying to look for an angle for the Golem drop. It's more on Zor now to find the angles with the Blink. That was revealed for the Witch Doctor, though. So D2 Hustlers should be able to adjust themselves, knowing that the Blink Infest bomb is up and running here.
Perhaps. Still yet to see a Golem, by the way. 21 minutes in.
Yep.
Have not seen one dropped yet.
Yeah, it's very patient from Koyaanisqatsi. As a Warlock player, this feels terrible. This is not a game where you feel good about. You can't get a value
Maybe
point
now.
in your upheaval. Perhaps.
Maybe now they could. I mean, there's a big smoke up from Hustlers. Bell are still somewhat together, but they're not really that close right now to Comfort. The Knife Stealer going to be in a bit of trouble. Nice stun out from Zor. And now the Infest. But your Slaughter is going to melt. But there's your Golem drop now. Onto 5 heroes, but is it going to matter? Not quite. Comfort He's gone. Koyaanisqatsi is going to be able to TP away on the Warlock, but... Well, there you go, John. There's your drop. It just didn't mean anything without all 5 heroes from Felt.
And that's the biggest issue. Like, they just aren't playing as a team. Like, they've got Aegis. They could play around their Morphling right now if they wanted to. They could just sit behind Tay, forcing issue in the lane. Now they're just down 2 heroes and their mid's being melted.
Look at 143, so he's got the shards up. He does cop an arrow and he might just die here and does eventually.
It was not love.
I love that little shards out from the DK. Just, you know, has the fireball now. I believe it was changed recently so you can use it during melee form as well, so a lot more valuable than it used to be on that DK.
Yeah. Is it exactly the same as the Ancient Fireball? I'm trying to look. 300 AoE, 85 damage per second, 10-second duration. DK's is 450 AoE. Okay, so it's slightly bigger. At least it's just not an ancient creep spell. It's still really nice in shoving out waves. Gotta respect the Spirit Vessel here on Justice, though. Like, that allowed him to melt through the DK there. There is a smoke up. They know they can fight here, but they don't have Golem, so gotta be cautious with a bigger 5v5.
I'll jump in. They do find the Bloodseeker. Zavai Lama gets the Ghost Scepter out. Oh, it wasn't even a Ghost Scepter. The Tay shotgun was there on the Morph, but they do eventually get the kill. They are slowly making a comeback here, Team Felt. 6-17 now. Still a 3k net worth lead for the Dire side. But they are certainly finding their farm. Hustlers. But now they are still more than happy to just keep farming up on Yuma, it seems, on this troll. Even with that BKB, he's not really willing to get involved in the team fights anytime soon, it seems. Unless they have a smoke up. Pandago does, but they aren't going to pop it yet.
There's about 40 seconds left in that Aegis, so this could be a really good time if they swing towards the last end of that smoke. Are going to make their way. Probably not the Morphling target, but the triangle's controlled up here by Felt, so it could be awkward fighting high ground.
Well, they're going to go into Koyaanisqatsi with the Dragon Tail and the Fireball. They get one. Onto Zor now. The Bloodrite going to be very nice. Zor with a 3-man stun. Arrow does connect on the Bloodseeker, but Yuma is still going to have his way with the Slaughter. Be a nice easy double kill for Yuma. He didn't even require the BKB to be popped.
Yeah, it's always a good feeling there for D2 Hustlers. If you hold on to your fresh BKB, you find a couple of kills. You're playing against Aegis, but Felt, again, it's just a secure Tay. It does expire now, so Tay is a little bit less secure. With E-Blade, I guess you could try to stall out the engagements, but I think D2 Hustlers now, they could try to look down mid once more. They could empty out the spot jungle right now. They have to be cautious about the next team fight, as Koyaanisqatsi does have Chaotic Offering, but if you rip through the Warlock first, you have nothing to worry about there.
They do force the Glyph out at that bot tier 2. Felt, they do have time to come over and defend this if they so wish, but like the D2 Hustlers have already backed themselves out. So a lot of items here to counter out the troll, though. I mean, you've got the shotgun, you've got the Heaven's Halberd now up. A lot of ways to make this troll's life a lot harder. And Felt, they have used the Moonlight Shadow. Yet they are unable to find a target for themselves, and looks like the Hustlers, they're going to be fine to back off.
They're still stalling this game out. Like, they're about to hit the Ags time here for Papa Tutti, so Cataclysm's going to be up. The upgraded spells are going to be nice as well. As the levels go on, you're getting that point with Yuma now, where Basher's going to be up, and then you've got the Manta to at least help you with the shotgun. The disarm's still going to be really good from the Heaven's Halberd. But D2 Hustlers, they're the ones to smoke up. Have to be careful about the clump up. Again, there is still a drop here from Koyaanisqatsi with a Golem.
1437, Dragon Tail stun is out. Warlock going to be dropped onto 2. Zor going to jump in immediately onto Pandago, trying to burst down the Witch Doctor. They'll get one, but now Yuma is there with the Battle Trance. Back in onto the Life Stealer. Justice has died as well. Comfort is going to try and fight back up against Yuma, but he'll just walk himself out. There's Justice, he'll buy back. 1437, another stun out. The Life Stealer Comfort, very, very low. Disarm is there. He will rage up and try to fight back up against Yuma again. But Yuma has the help of the Deathwater. Now Tay, he's been left behind and he will die. On the Morphling is Justice. He's going to try and back before he gets a dieback going. They barely spot him out. I think Yuma, he's found him. Justice sticks around for the courier. Tornado is going to land. That'll be a dieback.
Oh boy. That's a precarious spot for Felt. Like, it looked good. They got a pretty nice golem in the middle. The follow-up was a bit slow. The golem just dies to the Heroes of D2 Hustlers as well. And they find a big one. Taking out the Morphling means his farm, again, he hasn't even overtaken his Lifestealer. And we talked about how the Morphling should be here. It should be the actual core. The Lifestealer needed to take the backseat in the farm. They're not able to elevate that Morphling up. He is going to be most of their scaling in. Comfort for his part, he lives through these engagements, but the damage output is still not great, even with the Deso up. And the side of D2 Hustlers, they don't really have long spells to wait for. The longest one's probably that Dragon form. It's going to be up in about 20 seconds for 14 through 7. They line up for the tier 2 bot. Felt they need to wait for the next golem, which is a minute 10. And they could maybe hold a high ground with a threatfully or chaotic offering down the line. But D2 Hustlers just have complete control of the map now. Bot jungle just inaccessible for Felt. They're going to be limited to the triangle and the top jungle in terms of getting some farm up here. They are still hitting some item beats that are lining up. AC is being saved up for comfort. So additional tankiness, some ways of dropping the armor and the DK even further, and even the troll and the Bloodseeker not going to enjoy going up against that. But they need more. There's just so much more Felt needs, and there's just very little map to farm it up.
That is true. Trying to farm the best they can here, Felt. What are you looking for now? I mean, Tay's trying to pick up a BKB. Cataclysm going to fly through. God will probably not be very happy to see the Aghanim Scepter there on the Invoker. Basher now up on Yuma to boot, so now you've got a bash on the troll, which is... It's not going to feel very nice here for Felt. Especially if you're this life stealer. In what itemization are you? Never mind that. 1 second. Tay, mid lane, going to get stunned up by 1437. Won't lead to much. But what itemization were you expecting here, John, from Felt to really turn this around? Was there any items in particular?
I think if Comfort went for Maelstrom instead to fight early and farm faster, you'd be a bit better off. The armlet's giving him some durability. They might circle around here.
Yeah, they do go in onto Zor. Immediate tornado one. Comfort, he's trying to chase another in the form of Pandago. Now a nice golem drop. They have got one in the form of Papatuti, but he is rather, Zor's going to buy back. Battle Trance is there. Yuma right on the Morphling. Look at the damage output. Tay. Okay, now our heal him is now Comfort. Gets a disarm off, Death Ward is there, but Zor with the buyback is going to reinitiate on the Slider, and this time around, they have got Yuma, and they will get the Troll. Onto Davai Lama. Going to try and run. Papatuti had a very late buyback on the Invoker and is trying to make his way over, but the buyback is not going to pay off. Davai Lama, he's going to die, and suddenly Felt, they make it work.
Yeah, it's really good golem coming out from Koiniskatsi. It kind of set up and split up the fight. This time D2 Hustlers were stuck in an awkward spot. They were mainly on the low ground, or a couple of heroes on the high ground. Opens up this Roche as well and just melts with a Slaughter. That's a free shards up for them to pick up. So you've got the open wounds now on our Lifestealer. He's got it back. And that's just even more opportunities for Comfort to find angle. So D2 Hustlers, they need to watch their spacing. They were forcing that fight rather hard. They lose most of their lead now as well. It's down to just 1k. You're still up and ahead on Comfort. The buyback really slowing down Papatuti now. And it's a big opportunity for Felt. They're going to be able to rip through towers fast with the Deso. They're going to make their way to the high ground. They do not have Golem, but they've got the shards up in Koiniskatsi. And you can just see the heal is ridiculous. With that Holy Lock it up, AoE heal coming through, you keep your wave alive a lot longer. You keep your course alive, and you give them some nice move speed as well.
Some nice stuff here. Done in, 1437. Just going to fly through, not going to land on anyone as Yuma now comes in onto Koiniskatsi, and it looks like he's left himself behind. With the upheaval, Moonlight Shadow's going to pee there. They don't actually have the detection for him, which is... Well, that's not going to feel very nice, giving that free kill away. And they don't even find the Marana either, so no stunts to fly out, no dust Now for the Hustlers. Well, you kind of ask yourself what they do now, because that last team fight, it looked like a great start, but felt they might be in the position now with their draft to just pull it back around.
They need to just be really careful about forcing fights in these tight areas. Like that ramp was just devastating for them, splitting up the team fight into 2 areas for Hustlers when they weren't really ready for it. And the late buyback just cost him. Zor really heads up play coming into that fight and setting it for his team. They're getting some good scaling now. Tay's really hitting hard. He's got the Sanjin Yasha up in the Morphling, so he's harder to lock down with that stat resist. It's a lot easier for him to stand and hold his ground. You've got the AC up on Comfort, so again, more minus armor to play with the Desolator, with the Corrosive Haze. The heroes on D2 Hustlers are slightly softer now, a lot softer now actually, so they're gonna have to watch just how much physical damage is coming through here from Felt. Maybe have to consider a Heaven's Halberd of their own if they want to counteract the Lifestealer in that sense. Maybe you could build one up on your Bloodseeker. That could be a possibility. If not, then on 1437 down the line, just go for the even outpost trade for the XP per minute. But the top tier 2 is being melted. You just see the damage now from Comfort. Just so much minus armor, melts the objectives, evening out map control. And the side of D2 Hustlers now, there's some pressure here to find some fights. The high ground fight is also not too bad for Salt. They've got Golem back up if they want to force the issue.
Well, they will go. That tier 3 tower melting very quick. Comfort gonna get stunned up. He's happy to turn around, but now 1437's in with the Cataclysm. It might be enough, and they have it. Comfort, he's gone. Saw he tried to help out, but he is gonna die to boot. Oh, and you see how fast they explode. You just need one stun with the Cataclysm, and it does not take much to get rid of that carry Nates. Neither Zord nor the Lifestealer have buyback, so Hustlers might be able to get a high ground attempt going here.
Oh yeah, they can easily clean through the objectives now if they wanted to. There's no Golem drop to be worried about as well. Such a long cooldown, 170 seconds. So there's a lot of time here for D2 Hustlers to find more on the map. They have to rip through some tier 2s first. Mid tier 2 still standing. Bot wave is shoved in if they wanted to try that, but looks like they just want to even out map control for now. Drop it down to 1 outer tower each side. We'll get that done. And again, with no threat of the Golem, with no buybacks, tier 3s.
Oh, link right in. Yuma, he sees Koyana Skansi. They'll get the Warlock now. Also, no buyback on him. Now 1437 gets it with the Agimorph Tay. He's still Agimorphing. Oh, he's going to be all right. A very close call there, but Hustlers did not want to tie up the T4 tower for it. That'll be the mid-rack's gone. Can they afford to get another? No, it does not seem like they want to fight the Lifestealer. Even 5v3, they're going to accept the mid-racks and they'll back off.
Yeah, just to play it safe, no pressure to really force the issue out here. Felt with a response up, they've managed to also stall out for Tate to finish up his Blinkins, so you're not going to be able to just blink in, stun the Morphling. Going to be a bit harder to lock him in. This could catch 1437 by surprise if he aims for that Morph first. And Felt, even without having the Chaotic Offering, they know they can just play with the physical damage. So, smoked up, Infest on Zor, going to look for a pickoff again.
Moonlight Shadows there, Zor. The infested Lifestealer going to be on the front lines. They might just find Dove Lama. He's going to try and run, but Zor should be able to... Oh no, he didn't see him. The fog may have just been enough there for Dove Lama, and he probably doesn't realize how lucky he got on the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, just one of those things. Nighttime rotation, less vision out. Not managed to find that is kind of painful. You would have really appreciated just getting more kills on board while the side of Hustlers are sort of just working this map right now. They are fairly split up. Would be a really good time to find a pick-off, but they don't. So Hustlers just keep farming up, trying to build in more. They've got the Abyssal up here on Yuma, so they've got some instantaneous stun now if they need it on a single target. Lock them in, stop the TPs from coming out as well. And they are also trying to itemize quite nicely. Divide Llama, I believe, is flying out his Assault Curious now. So they are counteracting the AC on the opposite end of Comfort. Just a little bit less minus armor to worry about. Some more right-click speed for your Bloodseeker to play with as well. He does have the Solar Crest to get some debuffs going, to amp up or buff up one of his cores. It's really nice. They can line up for the high ground once more in D2 Hustlers, but Koyaanisqatsi does have the Golem, and that makes the high ground a little bit more daunting for D2 Hustlers. They're going to have to respect the fact that again, it's a high ground, it's an enclosed space, it's hard to fight into.
Not for 1437, it's not. Justice goes down. He'll buy back immediately. That'll be the immediate retreat for Hustlers, but now they do get the stun off onto 1437, but the Golem also dropped. A very nice one at that. That'll be 1437 gone. Yuma is trying to fight this one out. He still has the Battle Trance, but it's not looking easy up against the Lifestealer. It might not be enough as a Tornado Chaos Meteor, but the Battle Trance was popped onto the Slaughter. They'll get Zor onto the Lifestealer now. The cheese has been eaten, but it's not going to be enough for Death Ward. So much damage out from Pandago and Yuma. Comfort, he bought back, he's going to try and fight again, but Yuma looking to stand his ground and protect up by Llama. With the alacrity, it seems that they can't man-fight this troll. Hustlers, they probably will be pretty satisfied with the buybacks that were committed, but they are sticking around. Thinking about going back in, but no, Yuma says screw that. He's going to go back to farming the top lane. And I think that's fair, right? You can just aim for the next Roshan attempt, go in before the buybacks are available again on Felt. The next high ground for Hustlers, assuming they can kill the Lifestealer again, should be very easy.
Yep, no worries there, no pressure. They've got the 15k lead back here for D2 Hustlers. Felt lagging a bit behind. It's just not what you want. You don't want to get picked off. You need your entire team up. They don't respect the fact that their bot lane was being shoved in, and it's really easy for Hustlers to punish heroes one by one. So it's a big opening for Hustlers, giving them this huge swing. Next Rosh is a minute and a half away, so it's not going to be instantaneous. You're going to have your full roster back up and your Golem back up by that time. So there should be a little bit more fight here for Felt around that next big objective if they want to force the issue. D2 Hustlers looking like the Swift Blink coming out for Yuma next. Very close to finishing that up. Just waiting for the Eagle Song. And that just gives more damage out for the troll. More attack speed, always great. And the side of Felt, well, both sides really just wanting to farm up tier 4s while they've got that time. Really nice Spell Prism on hand here for Comfort. He holds onto it. So it's a lower cooldown Rage. 14-second cooldown, 14.8. Which means that there's more active time for him to stand in the middle of the fight and just get his right clicks off. Lower cooldown Infest as well, that's the big one. So you've got potentially more opportunities to go for the Infest save, or save yourself with the Infest as well. And they're just kind of still building up a bit on Felt. It just feels like it's harder for them in terms of finding angles. Like there's so much more leeway for D2 Hustlers to play this game right now, whereas for Felt it's basically one strat. Stick as 5, drop the Golem on 3 or more heroes, and try to win that fight after.
See if the smoke does pan out. There's your Swift Blink now available on Yuma. Comfort. Oh, they're going to try and go on the Mirana immediately, but Ghost Scepter is going to be there. Justice is going to be able to run onto the Morph instead. No, they are sticking to Justice.
Oh.
A big golden drop is there from Koyaanisqatsi, but it just doesn't matter. Justice, he's locked down. Koyaanisqatsi going to try for the TP play and is going to make it. They got the Mirana die back. That's about it for now, though. I don't think that'll be enough for Hustlers to go to the high ground, but they could try for the Roshan.
Yeah, that's really well timed. They force out Golem, so they know they don't have to worry about it in this Rosh pit. There is an Ag's Blessing as well to give out, and that could be big on whoever picks it up, even on Yuma. Like the dispels coming through are really obnoxious, and that's just going to be even more for them to fight into here for Felt. The drop there from Koyaanisqatsi looked good, but no one was around to follow up, and it was really just to save a Mirana that dies in the end. So not the best use of that spell, and they're going to be locked out of taking any big engagements for the next 2 minutes because of that cooldown now. Enough time for D2 Hustlers to force the high ground here.
They might try it. Definitely pretty big power spikes. And even the Timeless Relic there on 1437 going to feel really nice with that Dragon Tail. Yuma, he's in. He's got the Abyssal Blade out onto Comfort. It's not going to be enough. Instead, back onto the Slider. They'll go after Zor. He's going to back off with the Force Staff. The tier 3 tower is dropping so darn fast to Yuma as Nabe Lama, he's right in. He's onto Zor. I'm not sure about this. He's doing it by himself. But with the BKB, he's able to back off and Yuma's now in. It's a bit of a tag team. Arrow not going to really land with the BKB, and now the Cataclysm going to fly through. That'll be Koyaanisqatsi. Already down in the Warlock as Zor. Two-man stun is there. No follow-up to it. Yuma still going, gets the battle trance off onto the Lifestealer. And they do stun him up for a second. Comfort, he's not going to survive. He's gone without buyback. They will find another Zor. He's gone as well. He's going to buy it back, but Justice stunned in the fountain. Chaos Meteor down. He's still alive, but just barely as they wipe them out. Tay, he's the last one left. He'll use the Ethereal Blade on himself, but the pause is out as it looks like Comfort has disconnected and they just call it. A bit of salt there. And Hustlers, they're looking good, John. A 2-0 victory over the side of Felt.
Yeah, a really strong showing here from the Hustlers, maintaining their undefeated streak in terms of series overall. So they're having a great time already in the lower div. Felt, it just looked disjointed. I don't think either one was really down to draft. It was really down to how they executed with the draft. Like, they were constantly split up for the most part. They weren't able to really get the control that they'd want. They weren't able to get the fights that they wanted early on, and that just kind of made it really hard for Felt to get what they wanted there. And Hustlers, well, just a really smooth ride, looking great, coming through from open and closed qualifiers. They are a team to watch out for sure.
That they certainly are. Now, with that, John, of course, we are going to have a winner's interview, but it is going to take a little bit of time to come up, so I hope everyone can be just a little bit patient. Not 100% sure who we're interviewing quite yet, but I'm sure we're going to find out very, very soon. Apart from that, though, I've got to say, like, this is the first time we've seen the Hustlers play so far. I believe they did have another series, but we weren't around to cast it, so it's personally the first time I've gotten to watch the guys, but they do look pretty clean, John. 1437 on the POS 4, I gotta say, he looked pretty amazing. Kind of like how he used to be as a pro player. He's just back. Never lost it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the magic's still there. You know, the thing with 1437 is he's an excellent captain, right? Like, he went into Southeast Asia. It was him that really whipped the region up. I think that was the spike we saw. The hype around C was building up, you know, riding through TNC. And, you know, Fnatic also had imports at that time. And it really shows, like, the value of a good captain is amazing. And that's where you really felt the difference with Felt. Like, you could see the coordination of D2 Hustlers were on point. Like, not just individual plays, but their team fight execution was really clean comparatively. And it's just down to having that great shot caller in the game. It just makes all the difference in the world to have someone direct your team, direct your focus well, and allow you to work the map a lot better.
Certainly. Still going to take a little bit longer, John. Is there anything else you want to talk about while we are waiting for that interview?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed we didn't see Pudge. I was hoping that we'd get one of those Pudge games sneak in, you know. Like, it's been popping back in. Love me some Pudge. It can be a bit ridiculous. I think people are saying, like, Pudge to counter pick LC is really nice because of the, you know, the dismember on an ally, just saving them and putting the LC in a very awkward spot is nice. Or even just grabbing the LC as well offensively is great. The patch has been really good. We are seeing a lot of the teams adjust well. I think the teams from last season, like, you know, like Felt and stuff, are still sort of readjusting. Newer teams like D2 Hustlers that we just saw are adapting quite nicely. I mean, they experiment with the DK4, which it's been a while since we've seen. Like, we used to see that a lot more, especially 2 years ago, I think, 2 years or a year and a half ago. Saw a lot more flex DK on hand. Really nice to see it work out for 1437. The aggression he was getting off was really strong. And Felt, well, you know, they've got more games to come. I think we've got 4 more weeks of the DPC. So there are more opportunities there. They still have not found a win. Been a rough start for the side of Felt. We'll see if they manage to shape up as the season goes on. I think that's the one thing with this season as well. We got a major patch shakeup at the start of season. So I think the meta is still going to evolve as time goes on. Like, more heroes are going to come out. Like, the Pudge has been sneaking back. We've heard word of techies. There's been mumblings about Warlock as well, as we've just seen it picked up. Not quite the game for it. But yeah, it just makes for a much more interesting set of weeks ahead, as we'll find out just how the meta shifts down the line.
Well, looks like we're gonna have Papa Tootie here to do the winners interview. Papa Tootie, are you here? Can you hear us?
Hello, sir.
Hello,
I
sir.
can.
How you
Hello.
feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Very good to see. Obviously, your second series, you've got another victory here up against Team Felt. You guys looked very, very clean. I've got to ask you straight off the bat, how long have you guys practiced together as a team?
Honestly, we just made a random stack, and like we have never played with each other, or like in
Wow.
general, but like two of us knew each other. But yeah, it was all just open calls, and yeah.
Wow. That's quite impressive. You guys look very, very good. It looks like you're playing with each other for years now. John, questions?
Yeah. Do you think it helped you guys out going through opens and close? Like it gave you guys more time to adjust to the patch, or do you guys feel slightly fatigued? Like, what's your take on that? Going through opens and closed compared to everyone else.
Honestly, it's been very exciting. Like the phases that we went through as a team and as individuals, it's been really enlightening to play against these teams in the open calls, because in the open calls it can be very nasty. Like it's one game and you're out, so like you have to be constantly on edge. And best of threes are like a much nicer determinant of like which team is better. So we're definitely more happy now that we're playing in best of threes rather than best of ones. But yeah, it's been a really fun process.
Certainly.
Excellent. I'm curious. Like when the DK came out, were you guys always planning to flex it there? It was really early, first phase. You don't necessarily see like a DK being prioritized. Is that something you guys planned out doing scrims, or just something that 1427's like, all right, let's give this a shot in this game?
Oh, basically, 1437 just wants to RPG Dragon's Blood, so that's pretty much it.
Hey, you were right, Mike. You were right. You called it right
I
there.
know 1437. I got to do a bit of production for the man. I know how he is. He's a funny character. With that as well, Papa Tootie, is there anyone else in the groups, like in terms of teams? Is there anyone you kind of look forward to versing most, or you think is going to give you guys the biggest challenge throughout season 2?
Honestly, every game that we play, we just surprise ourselves. Like we have zero expectations coming into this. We have like we
Wow.
really don't know each other. Like we're just having fun, and it's great that everything's working out. So that's really cool. There's no specific team. We definitely respect all of them, but yeah, I think we're just looking forward to whatever the competition is.
I suppose I'll
Yeah.
ask you as the final question then. Do you feel confident that you'll make it through to the upper division next season? Because I got to tell you, you guys are looking great. You guys are making it look a bit too easy.
I mean, we have developed a lot of trust for each other, so I think that's going on for us. I'm not sure how we fare against better teams. I think like we're still getting a hang of the patch, and of course, like improving on ourselves as players. I don't wanna like be that guy who just like is really cocky or whatever, but I think we have a good chance. We have a good fighting chance. We enjoy Dota together, and I think we can be successful.
Excellent. John, did you have any final questions before we let the man go?
I think that's it. Very well played to you guys. Very exciting to see you guys in the lower div. Great things to come, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a good day, sir.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. That was Papa Tootie, of course, a fantastic Invoker player, as we just saw, John. Very exciting stuff, and I can't believe it. They really haven't been around for that long together. They haven't practiced very much, and just seems like they're kind of just going with the flow and having fun. Sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah, it gives you a small advantage. No expectations, no pressure. You go in, your mindset is free, and that's the big thing, right? People keep forgetting. Dota 2 is a lot of it's psychological. That's why some teams just never work. Some teams kind of just explode out of nowhere because they've got no pressure on them. They just want to play, prove something. And I think that's something to watch out for. It's the dark horse effect. I think no one expects much from an open qualifier team up against some of these teams that came in from the last season. Now they've all got to watch their backs here, whereas, as you heard from Papa Tutti, they just want to have fun here.
Why the hell not? I mean, sometimes that's all you need. With that, John, there is only one series on tonight, unfortunately, so that is gonna be it for the stream. Did you have any final shout-outs or words you wanted to say, John, before we head off, or are you just tired and you just want to go back to bed?
No, I've got the spiel. Hopefully everyone's had fun. Of course, if you haven't followed some of the teams on Twitter, D2 Hustlers has a Twitter as well. I just found out because they ended up liking a couple of tweets. Follow them, give them some momentum behind them. And of course, before we head off, Thank you again to our sponsor, XPG. Don't get ganked by your PC. Get an XPG Senya Gunmetal Gaming Notebook with Gank Defender and join the giveaway for a chance at a free laptop. It's a really nice laptop as well, so make sure you join in.
All right, well, with that, we are going to head off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys all again next time.